Hey friends, welcome back. Today we're going to try and deal with our Sparc drive, transfer into my Element day runner, as I call it. I built this truck out of a Ecto and an Element. As you can see, it's had some alterations done to it here, mainly for the mounts for the body. But what we're going to do is we're going to put the Sparc drive axles on this, and we might try something a little bit more crazy, maybe, with this. So for now, we're just going to throw the axles on there and see how that pans out. If you want this truck, subscribe to win it. Once we hit 10,000, I'm going to pick one lucky winner to receive this vehicle. After that, we're going to continue to give away vehicles and more products. So please go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and we'll get to the fun.
Oh yeah.
So this is the packaging that the Sparc drive comes in. So box with a magnetic closing system on it. Now this one I have has two different controllers. One being the original, and this is the second one, which is a newer version 2 and gives more intensified torque vectoring on it. So we're going to be putting that one into it because I'm more into the crawling aspect. And we're going to try and get everything put together here, as we have a lot of wiring to do and a lot of figuring out. And if you guys are wondering if there is a difference in width, there is. So we're going from the hexes on both lines here. So you're looking at probably a difference of, I'd say, about 5 mil just on the hex. So this is probably going to give us about 22, and this one is going to give us about 27. A little bit hard to get the camera in on top of that because it's not centered. Yeah, so about 27. So that's the difference right there. The pumpkin obviously is much bigger because there's motors and gearing in here that's not anywhere close to what this is. So you can see that. So these are definitely a lot bigger. The construction of the plate is just a plastic. This, from what I understand, doesn't even feel very strong. And the axles themselves are 3D printed. I don't know what the durability on the axles are, but we're going to find out. Also, I'm going to try and see if my SSD brass fits on these as well. Alright, so here we go. We got the brass on there. It does work, so that's good to know. Now we can continue to put this back on the vehicle. Rightio. We got all that installed. Now all we need to do is figure out our wiring. So I'm going to look in the instruction book and tell me what it says, because we got lots of different things going on here. I'm sure one of these might be a direct battery jumper, but oh, it looks like we have one here. Oh, and zip ties. I found the zip ties. Perfect. We need the zip ties. Zip ties. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I will be right back. Okay, so I just touched my motor and it's extremely hot. I just went into the house and got my thermo gauge here. So in the time it took me to go into the house and come back, which was a couple of minutes, we are looking at 63. Jesus. Yeah, like 62 degrees Celsius. That's hot. So 63 Celsius or 143 degrees Fahrenheit. That's what my motor was at when I just took the temperature. So yeah. All right, before we go and hate on anybody, we swapped out the pinion from a 21 tooth to a 12 tooth 48 pitch pinion to get a relevant difference. This truck originally was built to be a little bit faster. So crawling on rocks like that is definitely going to give it a little bit more heat. But I want to know how much more heat, if any, these axles are generating on the motor. So we're going to find out. Okay, so we got our 12 tooth 48 pitch gear in there. That should kill off the issue with the... What's going on here? Well, seem to be getting one problem after another. I was getting issues now where my ESC's not even starting up properly. And I found an issue out. This jumper cable is shorting out.
Oh my God!
As you can very well see, that is definitely not good. That's probably the worst soldering job I have ever seen on a cable, ever. Let me open that up for you guys. Yeah. Look at that. That's how it was connected under there. Barely even soldered on. So, wow. Alright, well, I'm going to have to fix that because that's not going to do. Alright, so I believe that last run, we weren't at full maximum torque vectoring steering there. So we're going to go ahead and do this run again. And as you can see, we're getting a lot more stabilization from what we were doing before. Before was almost like non-existent. So I mean, you can play around with this quite a bit. See, now it's actually doing what I want it to do. And I think having that smaller pinion in there is really helping. So this is going to be interesting. So normally your front tires would pull out of there because this one's touching, but right now that one's trying to get torque on it. And that is where you need to learn how to handle your vehicle just by steering. It would seem that straightening the tires helps with that a bit more. Let's try a different way. So learning how to drive this is definitely a learning curve. But what I mean by that is learning on how to steer and then power, put your throttle down in order to get your shifting throttle from that tire to this tire, so to speak. Once you figure that out, it becomes a lot easier. So ideally, it seems to be doing well now after we figured out all those bugs. And this is very tricky. This is a very, very tricky turn. This was just built, so I have not conquered this yet. And this is not an LCG truck, so okay, so I'm hooking the rear pumpkin there. So you're really, really squishing these tires down here. The other thing is you can expect your battery pack to empty out a lot faster. May have to do something about that sharp point on that rock. Okay, there we go. Get around it a bit there. Come on. Right here is what I'm talking about. Oh, she's gonna go up. Get some tire pinch on the back there. Oh yeah, she's squeezed in there. That's what we call the axle breaker right there. So we are quite steep here. Okay, we're going to turn this way. There we go. That rear tire was causing us issues. So these runs, I got a run that can go up here. I got a run that goes up there, and a run that goes up and over, which is probably the most difficult. So let's do the most difficult. See what the truck can do. Yeah, it's really slipping in the back there, hey? That tire over here, set that up again so we can get a better look. That was the one that was trying to gain traction. Wow. Yeah, okay. So now I've got all those quirks mixed up, or unmixed. User error, thanks Mark. Yeah, these are some really, really nice axles. All I had to do was double check my pinion, get that solved, solve that soldering issue that was a problem on the jumper, and then go back in and reset the calibration process. Right now I'm just kind of being a goof here and not driving this how I should be. I would like to see that skid plate there be stainless steel at some point. I think would be excellent. But I definitely think, guys, these are awesome. Yeah, I had my doubts. I was getting even more doubtful as time was going on until I got everything fixed and figured out. And now I can see that they are, yeah, 95% born and bred awesome. You lose 5% because of the width, but you can't do much about that because of the design. But as far as everything else, I would recommend these axles for sure. Alright guys, well that was definitely a fun video, a little discouraging to begin with, but we got it all sorted. Awesome build. I can't wait to try and put it on an LCG chassis. That'll be interesting, and we'll see from there. So I'm going to go cut the video here, and until next time!
Careful, guys.